Hello students, welcome to the MOOC course on transnational economic actors, transnational corporations, multinational corporations and emergence of global power elite. Now transnational is the key word in international relations in recent years. Transnational basically means organizational working beyond the state boundaries and acting independently from traditional state authorities. Now, this transnational relation consists of transnational as well as transboundary activities. Now, this transnational means it is the manner by which an organization works beyond the state boundaries. On the other hand, transgovernmental means it's a part of bureaucracy and it works somewhat differently from the other parts of the government. Now, this transnational relation exists. Basically, transnational actors, economic actors and transnational corporations, which I will discuss in my lecture, they exist since the 14th century when it was permitted that free trade will be occurred between different states. Nowadays, the form of these transnational corporations, or we can say the transnational actors, have changed drastically. Now, the transnational corporations actually accumulate capital and thus they actually created a network. They basically created a network of global power elite. These transnational corporations along with national and international organizations created a network of global power elite, and that actually impact adversely the human society. In this module, I will discuss different transnational actors, transnational corporations and multinational corporations. Along with this, I will also discuss the emergence of global power elites. Now I will discuss about the transnational actors. Transnational actors are basically denotes political, economic, social power. Now, transnational actors are of various types. They include NGOs or non-governmental organizations. They include transnational corporations or multinational corporations. And along with this, there is another class that is transnational terror association. Now, this transnational corporations actually they work beyond the boundaries of state and they work independently from the state authority, which I've already mentioned. Now, sometimes the work of these transnational corporations is also called transgovernmental because it is very difficult to segregate the working of transnational corporations and transgovernmental corporations. However, the working of these transnational corporations or transnational actors is basically over the or ignoring the boundaries of different states. Historically, these transnational actors existed since the days of colonial period. Now, this transnational corporation got importance since the globalization in the 20th century. The emergence of this TNS are in activist TNS actually that started with anti-slavery and suffrage movements of the 19th century. During 1950s, what happened? During 1950s, we all know that different countries, that means colonial countries, started to decolonize. And as a result of this, these economic actors actually existed to create a global political fora. Now, transnational does not simply means international. Transnational actors is the organization of power beyond the state, denoting political coordination, exchanges and regulation that transcend national boundaries. Now, the activities of these transnational corporations cannot be, or transnational actors cannot be said to be supranational. That means it does not work above the states. Now, transnational actors, they encompasses a wide variety of activities, and they actually addresses the issues which cannot be solved nationally, or they should be solved internationally. And their activities varies from regime promotion to social activism to combating international terrorism. Now, according to a study in 2002, they actually grouped these transnational actors into two parts. First groups are basically motivated by instrumental gains, especially economic gains. Another group that actually promotes ideas and knowledge. After 9/11, another kind of group actually emerged. They promote their objective through violent actions. Those are transnational terror networks. Now, according to a study of 2006, they grouped these transnational actors according to their work. And according to them, they divided the transnational actors into the one which aiming to influence the governments by creating pressures, like international non-government organizations, etc. Another group is those which promotes or provide organizational support to the government in case of governance, like International Chamber of Commerce. Now, even though there are differences in their workings, they actually work to promote or solve issues which are cannot be solved within a nation and which should be solved across boundaries. Now, according to the institutional structures, these transnational actors can again be grouped in different groups. There are a few transnational actors where this institutionalization is proper. That means they are properly institutionalized in terms of registration and its working, like IGOs. Whereas there are various non-state actors where there is a very few amount of institutionalization. Now, these IGOs actually work, they vertically they are institutionalized. That means they actually, first of all, decisions are taken domestically, and then those decisions are taken internationally. On the other hand, the non-state various various actors, they are horizontally integrated, or horizontally they are institutionalized. That means they take decisions across borders. Now I will discuss the transnational corporations. Transnational corporations denotes an enterprise consisting of multiple corporations or other business entities integrated into a multinational firm. Now, the classical form of this transnational corporations or multinational corporation is that there should be a parent company who controls the other subsidiaries through equity shares and other forms of ownership. Actually, in recent years, in today's world, this type of institution, this type of actually corporate group is not present, and in today's world, different independent business units are actually integrated in through global demand and supply chain. And in modern knowledge-based economy, basically flexibility, institutional flexibility is much more important than control. Multinational enterprises usually comprise companies or other entities established in more than one country and so linked that they may coordinate their operations in various ways. while one or more of these entities may be able to exercise a significant influence over the activities of others. Their degree of autonomy within the enterprise may vary widely from one multinational enterprise to another. Now I will discuss emergence of global power elites. Global power elites can be defined as function as a non-governmental network of similarly educated wealthy people with common interests of managing, facilitating and protecting concentrated global wealth and ensuring continued growth of capital. After World War I, League of Nations were formed to protect, basically after World War I, they started to protect the national minorities, and thus they were working transnationally. Now, after the demise of this League of Nations, United Nations were, and its programs and funds were created in 1945. The formation of this United Nations was actually coincided with the establishment of Bretton Woods institutions for the political and economic coordination throughout the globe. Now, the meetings of these Bretton Woods institutions, along with its associated World Trade Organization, International Monetary Fund, and GATT or General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, that actually provided the opportunities for creating a global political coordination. These organizations started to work internationally, and they started to work on international issues. And of course, basically the balance was actually tipped in favor of United States, as it helped to decolonization of the developing countries during that period. Because we know during that period, most of the countries or developing countries were colonialized under United States or Britain. And if we see data, we will see that the 50 largest transnational corporations actually have revenues which are more than the GNP of the states of member countries of United Nations. And as a result of this, these large nations could easily control or circumvent the policies of their domestic government. And their size was so large that they could control even the foreign decisions or financial decisions, policies of the foreign governments. Now, World Trade Organization or WTO, that was created in the post-war period for controlling the global economy and finances under American auspices. And the evolution of this WTO actually helped the governments, various governments, and also the transnational corporations to promote their economic policies. Now, in recent years, there are 17 giant companies or multinational corporations in the globe, and there are 199 individuals who are in the board of directors of these giants. Actually, they also known as global power elites, and there are 389 firms which actually enable the global accumulation of capital and concentration of power. Now, these 17 companies, what they do, they actually invest in each other, and thus they used to accumulate capital within themselves. They used to meet regularly, and as a result of this, they used to reduce their vulnerability from the government intervention as well as illegal activities. They used to do various kinds of illegal activities, and they used to escape by their internal coordination. And these 17 transnational corporations, they actually shares same cultural capital, and their meetings actually enables consensus building internationally. Now, the role of these global power elites can be described by 4 categories. These categories are managers, facilitators, protectors, and ideologists. Managers are those 199 individuals, which I have just mentioned, that there are 199 people or individuals who are in the board of directors of these 17 giants. And this board of directors, that means these 199 individuals, they used to take financial decision globally, and thus they used to accumulate capital and they used to promote their power globally. And they, of course, they used to take decisions regarding the management of global capital. Second is the facilitator. Facilitator are the basically non-profit or non-governmental organizations that assist the concentration of global capital. They facilitate the formation of policies that allow capital to flow freely. The major facilitators are the Group of 30, the Trilateral Commission, and the Systematic Research Council, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, and the Council on Foreign Relations. As these facilitators are privately funded, they are independent from government funding and regulations. Hence, they are free to join in open discussion regarding how to provide the security that is needed to protect the property and financial interest of the global capitalist class. The facilitator make recommendations to the international institutions such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, as well as to national governments and state bodies such as the Central Intelligence Agency. Together, these institutions serve the interests of the giants by developing policies that advocate the unregulated flow of capital and international debt collection. Now, the third kind which I've described is the protectors. They also used to help in accumulation of global power and global capital by these 17 giants. And they also protect the free flow of capital. Actually, the giants, they fear about the rebellion against their accumulation of capital by the deprived states or deprived countries. These giants fear, as I have already mentioned, they fear the rebellion. That is why they engage NATO and the US military agency to provide worldwide security. NATO, for instance, serves the role of a supplemental police force for the global power elite and the transnational capitalist class, while the CIA protects the freedom of the global giants to invest in the world without interference from governments or resistance from social movements. Private security companies such as Blackwater and G4S also supplement the role of US military in the provision of security for the global power elite. These private military companies have contracts with governments as well as private corporations. The global elites access to coercive and military power has become a threat to humanity and suppresses popular opposition. Now coming to the fourth category. Fourth category is the ideologists. They are basically the global corporate media. And this includes production of public relations propaganda films by private and public media organizations. And as this global corporate media has interconnections with the global power elites or the global transnational corporate class, it engages in ideological news management. And this global corporate media actually used to accumulate capital and impose their power through engineering of the opinions as well as control of human thoughts or control of human emotions, their beliefs and their various kinds of activities. And through these four categories, that means managers, facilitators, protectors and ideologists, the global giants actually they are controlling the entire global economy, and they are actually promoting their power throughout the world. Now this promotion of their power actually has a detrimental effect on human society. It actually dehumanizing effect on human society. And the global power elites, their promotion of their power that is increasing throughout the world, and through this they are undermining the civil politics and economy. Now corporate power they exercise that is also detrimental to human society. Along with this, the state-owned corporation or state-owned corporations that are also increasing, and they are changing their form. Previously their form or work culture was socialist, which is also changing. And most global firms are partially or completely owned by state-owned are growing, and most of the states in today's world, they are which are socialist in nature, they are actually using neoliberal economic and political policies and using control over state-owned firms as part of their efforts to accumulate profit. Now, the state also judicially control the global corporations by using laws within their jurisdiction. And their control of their jurisdiction actually that depends on their economic power as well as their military power. And we know that we have already discussed that the global the global corporate power is increasing, but these global corporations, they are not at all independent from the state, and they actually depends on state and its rivalry for global supremacy and also global hegemony.